The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/thepodcastingdead.
A day late, but hey, what do they say? Better late than never in most cases.
They do say that sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And happy belated birthday to Mr. JP sitting across from me.
Yeah.
Yesterday was his birthday, which is why we didn't podcast, because he was taking the day off to enjoy it and chill and probably do some illicit, illegal activity. But nonetheless, I do hope you enjoyed your day.
Yeah, it was all right, man. There was a pizza party, and it was okay. It was okay.
Wait a minute, you had a pizza party. Why won't I invite it?
No, a friend threw it for me up the highway, but it was all right. Yeah,
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Well, we're here today to talk about Fear the Walking Dead. This is Season 6, Episode 2. And I got to say out the gate, man, I know you, JP, were super excited because it was all focused around your man, Victor Strand.
Yeah, man, I like this one a lot. I could nitpick a little bit. I do fear that they're kind of setting Victor up for his last season. I'll go ahead and just say that out the gate.
You think so?
I think they're setting him up not to be... They're not setting him up to be the villain, but I think they're definitely putting him on the opposing side of, the forces that be, the forces of good. And I mean, in his mind, he's going to be, like he said in last season, working to undermine Genya from the inside.
Which means he's probably going to have to
do some
get tight with them,
stuff.
which is probably going to make him do some bad stuff.
Right.
I'm going to say, man, and it's nothing against the actress, but I just don't find Virginia as a good villain at all.
You don't like her?
No, not really. Not really at all.
Is it
no.
the bangs? You don't like the bangs?
It's nothing to do with the actress herself. Nothing to do with her. I don't feel like there's anything she's done that's made me. I just don't feel like it's an interesting villain. It just kind of feels like Negan. Like Lady Redheaded Negan, only she's not,
sexier Negan. Yeah.
She doesn't have a room of men to bang. But I mean, it's just kind of the same. This is how the world's going to work, and you comply or you die type deal. Mm-hmm. But I thought the episode itself was really good. I'm gonna tell you, so far we're 2 down, and I'm liking it. So I'm hoping they're going to continue this, trajectory of making good episodes.
Yeah, man. I thought the Walker challenge was a little convoluted, just as far as like that first scene, which was super awesome. Everyone getting pulled under the bay door.
It was very Jurassic Parkish.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was just like, can't you just kind of like take a safe distance back? Even the Rangers were getting pulled. I was like, damn, y'all ain't figured out by now. Just kind of keep like a good, kind of like us right now, social distancing, a good 6 feet from the door, and you'll probably be fine.
Oh, yeah. My thought is maybe they just didn't know how many were in there, so they were scared to just open the door and they might get over, whatever. So tell me this, because I was getting tired towards the end of Sunday. I had a long weekend. But what was the secret weapon? There was nothing in there when they looked, right?
It was Victor Strand. She was just looking for someone who could...
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure. That's what I was thinking, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't misinterpret it and that, you didn't remember them finding the nuclear bomb in the back?
No, I would have
So
loved
it was
to
Victor Strand.
Yeah, I would have loved for him to have just said, oh, yes, I'll show you the secret weapon. Then he just drops trow and...
Oh, Genya, if you're going to make me one of your main men, then I'll show you my secret weapon.
Yeah. And it's his dick.
I'd probably hear... you live like 45 minutes from me. I'd probably hear you squeal all the way from my town.
Oh, yeah. I would have loved it.
But no, it was good. No, I definitely think that I get now, now that you've cleared that up, and that was truly what the secret weapon was Victor Strand. I don't know, though. I get what you're saying. That is still kind of convoluted, though.
Yeah, I mean,
like when you think about it, it's like, right. So you had all these people clear it. Anyways,
it seems like at that point in the game, clearing an area like that would have been pretty cut and dry, But I mean, that being said, I still enjoyed it. I still thought it was kind of cool that they're so sticky icky that they grab you and there's no getting them off.
Yeah. What about when Victor when he stabbed the dude, man?
That was fucking wild.
That was some dark shit. I didn't see that coming.
No, I mean, that he straight up Otis'd his ass.
Yeah, that was some Shane type stuff right there. I mean, did that How did that influence your view of Victor Strand? Did it make you look down on him a little bit, or are you more in love with him now?
No, man. I mean, that guy was a coward, and I forget his name, the Indian kid, but he was a coward. He deserved to die a coward's death. And I mean, look, like if they had followed Victor Strand's plan, he wouldn't have had to do that. But he, followed Alicia's lead, and that's how things went down. He had to do it to save everyone else.
Can we just get rid of Alicia's muffler dagger thing?
God,
just give her a knife or a sword, man. Like when they pulled that crap out, I'm so tired of that thing being passed around the show like it's a holy grail, or you know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure someone else out there appreciates it, but I just find it so stupid.
It's a ridiculous weapon.
It's like they pull it out of the drawer, like, here is your secret weapon.
Right.
You know, like you've taken like Leonardo's swords from him or something. It just, to me, it's so stupid. And I mean,
and it seems very impractical. I mean, I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem like you get a real good grip on it.
No, I mean, she put a fancy little strap on it, but I hate it. I hate it. Every time they pull it out, I'm like, can we just get rid of this thing?
Yeah.
And stop acting like it's some, I don't know. But now Daniel, let's talk about Daniel. What an interesting twist at the end of the episode. I was liking the episode, and then that ending just made me, really like it. Because I'm like, all right, cool, we're getting into twists and turns. And so Daniel does remember.
Yeah, he's been playing possum, so to speak. And I was really going to be like, if we really got to go through an amnesia story arc.
Yep, I thought the same thing. I was like, dude, how many times has this been done? It's just so we know how it's. This is so, and then, I'm like, he's got it. And then finally at the end where it's revealed, he's like, good seeing you, Morgan. I was like, yes!
Yeah.
And I mean, do you think perhaps it's that he still doesn't fully trust Victor Strand, especially, maybe he, what do you think his reasons are for that? Do you think, because at first I was thinking maybe it's kind of like a Rick thing. If you remember, now we're going to go do some Walking Dead spoilers for the comics here, but in the comics, Rick tricked everyone in Alexandria into thinking that he was following Negan.
Uh-huh.
Remember when he was like, I'm not your leader anymore. Negan is. Like, Negan makes the rules. This is our new way of life. And Andrea was like, just pissed at him. Like, you of all people going along with this. And Rick's, like, let me let you in on a secret. We're going to take Negan down. But I need these people to believe that we're not, so that Negan doesn't catch a whiff of what I want to do.
Yeah.
And, I thought maybe that's kind of what Daniel was going for. That was the theme, was like, all right, I just want everyone to feel, if one person knows, that might be too many and might ruin my plan. But now I'm kind of wondering if he doesn't, worry that Victor Strand's going to get in with them and go evil and, to his advantage, just pretend he don't know him.
Well, I mean, Daniel and Victor have very opposing, strategies. Victor is very much a, get close to you so he can stab you in the back kind of guy.
He's a little finger.
Right. Whereas Daniel's just, straight up going to tie you to a chair and torture you to death. I mean,
yeah,
very, very different. I mean, I feel like they're both working towards the same end goal, but very different ways of doing it. And Daniel couldn't compromise his plan by, letting anyone in on it.
Morgan is looking like a cowboy, man. I'm digging the new look, the scruff. I like when Daniel said you look like you could use a haircut.
Yeah, I was a little bummed when they showed the scene from next week's episode, and Morgan's back to being a little bit more cleaner as far as the beard's trimmed out. I was like, man, like you, I like the bounty hunter Morgan look.
Yeah, I like the scruffy beard with the cowboy. Did he have the cowboy hat on in the preview?
I don't think he did.
Oh, come on now, he needs a cowboy hat.
But I might be wrong. But yeah, man, I like his new look, and it fits in with the whole Morgan Jones is dead thing.
So. Oh, absolutely. So it's good. Excuse me. Do you think that we're going to end up seeing Strand and Morgan have to face off?
I mean, I think Strand's definitely going to have to make it appear that way to appease Jinya to, be able to finally take her down.
Do you think he would go that far? Do you think that, if his end game is to take Virginia down, in his mind, do you think that perhaps he'd be willing to sacrifice Morgan if that's what it took to stay in Virginia's good graces?
I mean, I would like to think not, but I think at the end of the day, keeping Alicia safe is his main concern. So I think he would sacrifice a Daniel or a Morgan to do that, which sucks because that's going to make Alicia hate him forever. But I think the season's going to end one of two ways. We're going to see, Victor Strand make the ultimate sacrifice to redeem himself, which I really hope we don't.
That's where I'm seeing.
Yeah, or we're going to see Victor Strand take out Virginia and end up sitting, like, being in charge of the Rangers, and then, everybody's like, oh, shit.
I could get
Morgan
down with
and
that.
Daniel are going to be like, what do we do now? I don't know.
That was a terrible Daniel.
Yeah, what do we do now?
Can I cut your hair?
Yeah.
Alicia's like, I don't care what you do as long as I have my muffler dagger.
Right. So I don't know. I don't want to see. I don't want to see Victor Strand, get killed off. Obviously, I might have to stop watching after that. But I also don't want him to see him become just like a super suave, villain type guy. I don't know.
I only saw like a little bit of the preview. Like I didn't see the Morgan without the hat thing, but did I see Dwight in the preview?
Yeah, he was in there too. Yeah. Speaking of a guy who needs to grow his beard back, man.
Yeah, Dwight needs that facial hair, man. He's just looking like a meth head running around.
Yeah, he really does.
With no facial hair.
Looks like he was freebasing and just caught his whole face on fire. It's full of freaking Richard Pryor.
Yeah, I'm interested. Do you think that they're working towards any kind of crossover? I mean, we got season 11. We got the rest of season 10. 6 more episodes. That's going to premiere early 2021. And then we've got, season 11, I guess, will come back, and it's going to be a long ending. Do you think that they really are going to stick to their guns? Because in the beginning, they said it will never cross over.
Never cross over.
This is a totally separate show doing its own thing. But you've already kind of had crossover. I mean, hell, the beginning of the first episode of season 5 had Walking Dead characters in it. Uh-huh. So by definition, that's kind of a crossover anyway.
Yeah, they have.
Do you think that they're headed towards any kind of crossover? Because they're still in the past, right?
Dude, don't ask me about the timeline. I do not know.
I mean, I'm feeling like they're still, they're still in that time frame, like right around where Rick has left. Like maybe this season will end with the CRM coming in and, flashing forward a few years, and that'll kind of bring all the shows up to the same timeline, and that way you can do a little bit of crossover.
It could, man. Like I said, the Walking Dead timeline right now, I have a better chance of explaining, like, Avengers Endgame to you as far as timelines go.
I could figure it out, but I'd have to sit down and write it out.
You need, like, a pen and paper, yeah.
Because, I mean, I know that, Rick was in a coma for a month. So we know he woke up a month into the apocalypse. And then we know that, I believe up to the governor point, it had been about a year during the governor arc, and then they go another. So I could probably, and then I know they skipped forward, a year and a half after the Negan all-out war? It was like a year and a half after that. And then they skipped ahead another 6 years. And then they skipped ahead again, you know what I mean? So they've skipped ahead quite a bit. So, I mean, Fear the Walking Dead is still quite a ways behind. And I'm curious if they're ever going to try and catch, even if they don't plan to cross the shows over, I wonder if they're ever going to try to catch it up to the current timeline.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was trying to Google, like Walking Dead timelines, but I couldn't find anything useful.
I just want Rick and Morgan to meet again.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Morgan Jones is dead. I'm now just M. Jones. That's kind of the same thing. No, it's not, Rick. I'm dead.
And I have an axe.
And I have an axe. And I chop off heads. Yeah. Not all lives are precious, Rick. That's what I learned.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get something like that.
I would love to see a meeting of Rick and Morgan once again. So, I mean, how long do you think Virginia, surely you think that her reign will be over by the end of the season? Do you think they're going to drag it out the entire season or maybe to like the mid-season finale?
It would be cool to see it just wrap up by the mid-season finale and however things are going to play out with Victor Strand play out. And, it would be cool to see him like in charge of the Rangers by the end of the mid-season.
God, weren't we calling them like the Pioneers?
I think
or
so.
The Pilgrims or something
Yeah.
last season. That's how little we paid attention to it because, like, I'm trying to watch it. Next thing I know, I've been on Facebook for 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh, wait. Virginia's talking again?
I thought you were going to say you've been on meth for the entirety of the episode. I was like, damn. Taking it back around to Dwight.
No, thank you. Never really been that appealing to me. But no, I'm interested in these two. These two episodes have been great. I've very much enjoyed them. I like the dynamic between Strand and Alicia.
Me too.
What did you think about Virginia's sister being a stowaway?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. It just shows that, Virginia puts the C in C-U-N-T,
I don't know
Her own
how
sister.
people like that, even your own sister wants to betray you. Like, how do you? And yes, I guess we can look at real world dictators and see, but you just always wonder, how does somebody not just shank that person in the back, knowing that everyone around them hates that person? Knowing that nobody's really happy with her, and how does somebody not just walk up and go, "Sheek"? Because normally you'd be scared to assassinate them because of the repercussions. You'd whatever. But if everybody hates them, they'd be like, "Woo, the queen's dead."
Yeah, I guess her top rangers are just kind of like Negan's, like generals or lieutenants or whatever he called them. She's keeping the right people happy to, keep herself protected.
You've got to, man. If you're going to lead like that, it can't be all fear me. There's got to be. Yeah. You've got to breed loyalty. You've got to breed love. You know what I mean? The would you rather be feared or loved? Michael Scott was on the right path, just the wrong conclusion. He said, "I want people to be afraid of how much they love me."
Yeah,
but they need to fear you in the sense. It's almost like they talked about. That guy was on YouTube talking about the psychology of Negan, and he said that one thing he gets right. I mean, there were definitely some improvements he needed as far as to tighten his rein and be sure he'd never be betrayed. But one thing is kind of like a dog. You reward them every time which this is not how you should raise a dog. We're talking about people who control. But it's like the reward system. If you did good, Negan rewarded you tenfold and just made you feel like. You were in his favor and you just were so happy. But the thing is, you can't keep people there all the time or else they'll get lazy and feel like there's no way you would ever cast them out or do anything to them. So when the rewards are great, but the punishments are harsh. You know what I mean? And it just kind of keeps them always in a state. It's kind of how, like the guy was saying, how abusive relationships work. Like one person ends up spending a lot of their time trying only to please this one person to stay in their good graces. And not saying that's how you run a dictatorship, but I mean, I feel like you've got to breed some form of love. Like people have to love you and be willing to fight for you. You have to be like a Jon Snow.
Yeah. I
mean, not counting the people who killed him, but the loyalty he had from the others.
Yeah, that's for sure. Sure. But not. There was some really good stuff this episode. Like you were saying, man, the Alicia Strand stuff. Like at the end when he's just like, "Look, I've got to do some really awful things that I don't want you around here to see.
Yep.
So I'm sending you away.
I'm sending you as far away as I can."
Yeah.
How do you see Virginia's end coming to be? Wouldn't it be crazy if these people became the Commonwealth? Boom, boom, boom. Which I know, two totally separate locales. How would they move all the way up near where Rick and them were? But I know it's not, but be a cool twist.
You never know, man. Like you said previously, maybe Victor Strand becomes Mercer.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
If we meet a character named Pamela, we know where it's headed. Or what if the end of this season was like, they take out Virginia and they've got this whole settlement of people that need to be led, and all of a sudden you hear, "Hi, I'm Alpha."
Oh my God, dude, no. Take
and
that back.
They become the Whisperers.
No, that will not
And for the record, I know that's not going to happen. It's always just fun to ponder what ifs, which is time to selflessly, shamelessly plug our other podcast, Walking Dead What Ifs, where we talk about those very situations. Like, what would happen if this, or what would we discuss?
You're so bad.
But it's like, where do we go from here? Hey, I'm Alpha. I have an idea. Then I'd be furious that we never saw Victor Strand with the Whisperers.
Yeah.
These people smelling. He's a classy guy. I can't imagine him living like that. These people, they smell terrible. They shit in a ravine. Victor Strand's ass needs only the finest porcelain of which to drop the Browns off at the Super Bowl.
God, it was so weird seeing him just empty the latrines and light it on fire and stuff. But
Yeah, Victor Strand ain't playing, though. It is interesting how in the beginning he wasn't really a physical person. Like in the beginning he was just kind of, and he still is for the most part like a Littlefinger. And if you don't know, if you never watched Game of Thrones, Littlefinger is Lord Baelish. Peter Baelish was a character that basically rarely, if ever, lifted a hand, but he was a manipulator. He was playing the mind games and turning people against each other and just kind of working things behind the scenes. And Victor Strand was kind of more that's kind of more his skill set is strategy more than just brutality. But we've seen in recent times, I mean, he's become a pretty hands-on guy.
He can whip it out when he needs to. Absolutely.
So I don't know. What if it ends and it's like, that's a nice bond you have over there?
Oh, no.
If you're new to the channel, I know the people that listen to this every week are like, oh my God, I get tired of you re-explaining this. But you got to understand, we get new subscribers each week. So for anyone new listening to this podcast, the Barn of Pleasures is something that was created based off of how bored we were last season of Fear the Walking Dead. We got so bored trying to review these episodes that somehow we just created this barn where all Walking Dead universe characters go to have group orgies. Everyone that's over 18.
Yeah, of course.
And King Ezekiel is the ringmaster. Essentially, I don't know if he ever has sex with anyone. He just kind of stands up on the loft with Jerry dressed up as a tiger and, encourages everyone to continue having sex.
Yeah.
Yes, my children.
Yeah.
But what if that's how it ended? What if it's like, I'm King Ezekiel. That's a mighty nice barn you have over there.
I mean,
and then it's Fear the Barn of Pleasures.
Sheesh. Who's to say?
I would like to stand up here with you, Ezekiel.
Oh no.
And then if Ezekiel dies of cancer, I can think of no one better to take the reins than Victor Strand.
Oh yeah, it would have to be.
Yes, my children. Do it.
But I think Ezekiel will survive his cancer.
I hope so, man. I mean, I have a feeling that he's going to die. I feel like the end of the show, even if it's into the future, we're going to see him on his deathbed, and it's going to be really sad. I feel like him and Carol will get some kind of closure.
Yeah.
Like he'll die, but Carol will be there by his side.
I think perhaps the Commonwealth can cure him.
They could. Now, I find it interesting that the Commonwealth, from what we've seen, is less populated than the CRM.
Yeah.
If you don't know what the Commonwealth is, again, comic book spoilers, it's the last story arc of The Walking Dead. They find a settlement which the CRM doesn't exist in the comics. So it's like they find this settlement, what was it, like 50,000 people or something? So it's like, but I mean, the CRM, from what I've been told, is like 200,000.
200,000. And that is, I guess that's including these different cities they visit and the big one up in New York.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to why they killed people from the other settlement in the first episode of The World Beyond, which we're going to talk about. So make sure you tune in for that. But yeah, it's I enjoyed this episode, man. I hope to the Fear the Walking Dead writers, man, whatever you're doing or whatever's inspiring this writing, let's keep it up, because this is a show that I would like to continue following.
Yeah, man. I wonder if much changed as far as like the creative team. Or
I don't know.
I don't know.
This show to me has more peaks and valleys than The Walking Dead itself. You know what I mean? Like the Walking Dead definitely has points where I'm like, this was a low point for the series, or man, like Fear the Walking Dead though is just like a roller coaster.
It's one extreme
it's
or
like
the other.
It's really good, and oh man, you're loving it. Can't wait till next week, or it's like it was at the end of last season, or just kind of last season in general, and we're all just kind of like, well, I gotta go. Fear the Walking Dead starts.
Yeah, I didn't like that, or really much of the season before that, to be honest. What
after
4
Nick
or 5?
Died, I liked up until the Nick and Madison deaths. Once the Madison thing happened, just from that point on, for me, it got boring.
Yeah, season 4 started with some good momentum, some good potential, but I thought the villain was kind of lame. And,
the scavengers. We just gonna pull up.
Yeah,
we're gonna let you leave. I'm like, how do you even know they're gonna die? They're like, I thought the point was they surrounded you until you basically just died. Like they would kill you if you tried to leave. and just let you starve yourself out and then come in and take what you have, which kind of would suck because at that point you would eat all of your food.
Yeah,
there
would be nothing
just getting
to take.
material items, but either way. But then they're just like letting people roll out, and it's like how are they villains?
And they wanted them to join them at one point.
It was a really stupid idea.
Concept.
It just did not, maybe sitting in a drawing room somewhere it sounded good, but the execution was just terrible. Like the only good thing to come out of it was, man, I'm not going to lie, the way they did Nick's death is one of the best episodes from any of the Walking Dead shows because I did not see that coming. I mean, I thought the way the flashbacks were portrayed, we were going to see Madison die. Mm-hmm. And when Nick got shot, I was like, oh, my God. And we saw Charlie. Charlie's back.
Yeah, Charlie's back. I like that.
We saw Charlie. I like Charlie, even though she is the one that killed Nick. Mm-hmm. I be knowing that the actor that played Nick wanted to leave the show, because if he didn't want to leave, I'd say they were idiots for killing off the most interesting character on the show. But being he wanted to leave, that's nothing they can help. Not now. I mean, of course, they probably could have wrote him better, but he left, and the way they killed him off was brilliant. Like I just remember being like I got punched in the chest after that episode. I was like, what the hell? No freaking way. This has to be a dream or something. Where's the dumpster for him to climb under that heals him? And alas, no, it was legit.
Yep.
Do you foresee Madison coming back? I mean, do you think that's going to happen?
I believe so. Yes.
You think maybe that's why they haven't jumped forward in the future yet? Is because they're staying behind so that they can because I think Madison, Kim Dickens, I think she's in another show.
Oh, that I don't know.
I might be wrong, but I swear I thought I saw a preview for a show the other night.
I hope she's still
and I
working.
saw her, but
yeah, I hope she's still working.
But are you holding out hope, thinking she's going to make a return?
I believe she is. Yes.
I mean, it's not. That's horrible to think she just basically sat there and burned alive.
Yeah, I know. I believe she found some way to escape.
If she was lucky, the smoke inhalation got her before the flames did.
Right.
But either way, not a good way to go.
I just hate for her to discover that Nick has passed, I wonder if the actor who played Nick died after he found out that Madison was getting, or if he decided he wanted to leave once he discovered they were killing off Madison, writing her off.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that. Please drop it in the comments section. Did the actor that played Nick know that Madison was going to be written off and just say to hell with this? Because Dale. The only reason Dale died when he did in The Walking Dead was because of Frank Darabont being let go from the show, and they, both Dale, Andrea, and Carol have worked closely with Frank Darabont. They were all on that movie The Mist, and Dale's been in a couple of the actor that plays Dale's been in a couple of Frank Darabont's projects. Yes. So when he was let go, it's kind of like friends like you or I. It's like if you got cut, then I'd be like, well, I'm leaving too. The hell with this. But they do say, so once they had written his death, the night they were, when they were going to film it, he had second thoughts and was like, well, you know what, maybe I want to stay. And they're like, dude, we can't. We've already written and, that we don't have time to go back and rewrite and change how this is going to play out. I can't believe you hated Dale as much as you did.
I thought Dale was such a crummy character.
I love Dale. I mean, he definitely was nothing like his comic counterpart.
No.
His comic counterpart was a lot more of like he was still an old man, but he was a lot more of a gruff kind of, get off my lawn kind of old man. He was banging Andrea, which do you think they would have do you think if Dale didn't die, they would have eventually gotten Andrea? Can you imagine Dale and Andrea sex scenes?
No, I don't want to imagine them.
I'm trying to picture it now. Like how they would do it from a show writing, not them two straight up banging, but like how they would film it. And just imagine like low candlelight. She runs her hand down Dale's hairy old man chest, kind of jiggles his boobies a little bit.
No,
gets down to his belly and gives that a little jiggle.
Oh God, that doesn't sound too.
The camera pans back up. Dale face.
Oh God!
Like he's on top of her, she's running her hands up his stomach to his chest, and as the camera gets to his face, he's making the same face he made at Shane. Just what we call Dale face.
Right.
I know what you're gonna see. What kind of man I am.
Shit.
2 seconds later, I promise it's gonna work. Just give me a second. Do you think they would have went that route though? I mean, we're gonna get back to fear as we get ready to close out.
Never would have.
You don't think that Andrea would have ever banged Dale on the show.
They never would have done that.
I mean, maybe Dale's a stud.
Maybe.
When the camper is a rocking, Glenn, don't come knocking.
I don't. Did they ever mention like Dale's wife like died before the apocalypse? Right?
Cancer, I believe. Yeah. Because he had that talk with Lori.
Yeah,
about his wife, not just at peace with it. He wouldn't accept it. But I don't know, man. Dale might have been a stud. You got Rick and Lori over there banging, and it was once Shane and Lori, and then you got Glenn's getting him some. And now Dale's over at the camper, just you can hide the gun.
Sheesh.
Oh, but no, I don't think they were going that route either. But back to Fear the Walking Dead as we close out here. We're just Walking Dead fans in general, so sorry. Sometimes these podcasts jump to different shows, but it's all under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
But let's rate this episode. Let's stick our hands under the table. 5 stars is how we're doing it. Ready and go. Hey, we both did 4.
Yeah, like I said, the zombie challenge was a little on the nose for me, but I liked everything overall. I like Daniel's culmination. I like seeing Morgan at the end. I love that Victor Strand is back and he's doing what he feels he needs to do to get everyone to safety. I just hope they don't kill him off. I hope he doesn't end up becoming the big baddie. But I love Victor Strand and I love what they're doing this season.
Morgan showing up at the end really helped me to like this episode more than I probably would have, because I did like it and I would have said positive things about it regardless. But I hate when they do all these separate story arcs that are dedicated. I much more like the Game of Thrones format, which I mean plenty of shows did it before Game of Thrones, but that's just what comes to mind, where you're getting all different stories in one episode. Like it's flashing between Morgan and then it'll go to Strand and Alicia, then you'll go to whatever that trucker lady name. I just refuse to speak it because I don't like that character.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't see them this episode, too.
Where you at, Momo?
God, I hope we just find out that Genya killed them off. I would be so happy.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
But when Morgan came back around, I was like, okay, yes, they're connecting them. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we're going to continue. We don't have to wait 3 episodes to go back to Morgan. My fear is next week's episode is going to be a very boring John and June.
Oh,
which God. Remember, I didn't see much of the preview, so maybe it's not. But I love John, and I do like June. I don't give a damn about their love story. You know what I mean? I don't either. Like it's just one of those where I don't care. Like I don't. At this point in this universe, we've been through enough love stories, man.
I would love to see Morgan ride up to the trucker lady and the disabled dude and just be like, "Look, we're not really going to mess with y'all anymore.
We don't like y'all.
So y'all just live out your days in this little Genya camp." And I'd love for him to go and talk to John and be like, "Look, man, you're cool, but you're not that cool when June's around. She's kind of made you sort of bitch made. So June, you stay over here with the trucker people, and John Dory, you come with us, and the show will be much more interesting."
Then the trucker lady would be like, "But Momo, don't call me Momo no more. It's the stupidest nickname. I'm not a teddy bear."
Yeah, just cut the. They do need to cut some dead weight. I want to see some of these awful characters get.
All lives ain't precious.
Yeah.
Just beheads the trucker lady. I don't mind the guy in the wheelchair as much, but trucker lady just gets on every nerve I got.
Yeah.
If I hear a Momo at one point this season, it instantly loses points with me.
Yeah.
Yo, Momo. Don't call me Momo. And then Morgan just chops her head off.
Yeah.
What did they call the beer guy? That got on my nerves too.
I can't remember.
Was it Jimbo?
Jimbo, yeah, that was
just God knows, man. I know like 10 truckers off the top of my head. Like one of my best friends in the world drives trucks. One of my old close friends, he drives trucks, and not a single one acts anywhere. You know what I mean? Like just drawing too hard on the old stereotype of a trucker.
Yeah, they might have been like that back in the 70s and 80s, but I don't think there's a whole lot doing that now. But maybe out in Texas it's different. I don't know.
Oh, but that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And if you enjoyed what you heard, please consider hitting that subscribe and that like button. Helps us out a ton. And if you actually really enjoyed what you heard, you can always check out our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you get 8 extra podcasts per month. Except for this month, because it was JP's birthday, and we still got to talk about World Beyond, and then we won't be a Patreon cast today, but there will be one. No, there won't be. Though Patreon gets this week. Well, maybe we could record one tomorrow.
We'll figure something.
But because I'm on vacation after tomorrow, so. But nonetheless, Patreon, I definitely think, Steele, for what you pay, definitely get your money's worth.
Yeah, I'll give a Patreon shout out. Ricky White is our newest one.
We have a new patron?
Yeah.
What?
Ricky White. So
I have an R and W
Ricky.
complex sometimes where I might say like Wiki White.
Right.
So Ricky White, thank you so much. We love you, and we're so glad to have you on board. Stay on board.
Yeah, stay on board, and we'll love you even more than we already do.
I feel bad now. I feel like we got to figure out how to throw 2 Patreon cats on. Like, man, we got a new patron, and it's just like, I signed up for this. This is bullshit. Yeah. But hey, there are still 50 plus back podcasts you can listen to.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, we'll see you soon. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.